Hey guys, wanted to give a quick TLDR of the new rework coming out in 10.2. If you weren't aware, in about 2 to 3 months, rogues are getting reworked in the next patch. And so far, it's looking pretty good. Depending on what you like, though, it could be a little annoying for you. But Assassination, Outlaw, and Sub, plus the class tree are all getting changed or revamped. And yeah, we're turning more into a burst class rather than the scripted, like linear rotations that we've been doing. Yeah, let's get into this. This is the tier set. I know a lot of people want to see this first. Pretty good. Looks like it's passive damage though, so we're not going to be getting a lot of, different changes in our rotation once you get the four piece, which is nice for some people, not nice for others, but yeah, it is. It's kind of buggy on PTR right now, so that's just what it is. Now for our talents, actually I'm going to talk about the general changes that they've done. So for rogues, as you all know, we had a shadow techniques. This would be every time you auto attacked, you had a chance to gain a combo point, right? Like it would just appear on your combo bar. Now, shadow techniques is a buff that you get that holds the combo points for you. So until you use a Gloom Blade, for example, or a Shuriken Storm, Shadow Techniques is going to hold them and it stacks up until 14. Now, it might be a little confusing to understand, but I'll get into that later. As for the other ability, Shadow Blades is now a real 2-minute cooldown. This thing gives you full combo points anytime you use a builder, and it does a shit ton of damage. Like this thing is absolutely blast now. So anytime you Shadow Strike, anytime you Gloom Blade, you just 7 CP or 5 CP every single time for 20 seconds. Alright, now for the talents. This is what our general class tree and our sub tree look like now. I've just been messing around with it a little bit, but everything is pretty much the same up here until you get to around right here. So Imp Sprint used to be somewhere right here. Well, now it's right here, and here's our first big talent change. Featherfoot. Sprint speed is increased by 30% and 4% increased duration. That is insane on having it on top being 1 minute. We're going to be zooming. We're going to be absolutely zooming. Okay. Now we get to down here. Feint has one additional charge. This is mainly for the Mythic Plus boys or like high-end rating guilds that are progging unpatched bosses. This is huge. This like it's not that big of a deal, but it is huge. Having two Feint charges is a pretty big deal for like rot. Like, you can survive for way longer. It's nice. Down here, this is where acrobatic strikes is. It's now down here. Now we have recuperator. Heal slice and dice heals you for 1% every 2 seconds. Kind of nice. Is what it is. Now, Tight Spender and Imp Ambush, it used to be in a straight line, but it's a choice node. Most likely we're going to be taking Imp Ambush. Extra CP is just better. Come down here, Soothing Darkness. Night Stalker. This used to be up here, but now that we're a burst class, we are probably 99% going to take this. 10% more damage while inside dance is absurd on top of Shadow Blades, right? And that leads us to here. Shadow Blades being a easy node to take now. Most likely we're going to be running double dance. I know it's kind of annoying because now we can't get acrobatic strikes, but it is what it is, like more damage but less uptime potentially. Over here, similar thing going on. Vigor, Thistle Tea, Leeching Poison, Poison node. I'm not going to get too much into the other talents. They're like PvP talents, but here's our subtree now. This is where, Silent Storm used to be up here, but they swapped them. That's okay. Shadow Blades, improved backstab. Now, these are, quote unquote choice nodes, but these are pretty much mandatory. Quick decisions, Shadow Step cooldown reduced, and the range is increased. So now we just get 2 straight up Shadow Steps. We get 2, no, it's guaranteed. You have 2 no matter what. Ephemeral Bomb, I think is how you pronounce it. 12% received healing increase. This is disgusting. Like, this is so good as a pretty much mandatory node. I don't know if this is going to go live like that, but 12% is really good. Now, on top of that being good, coming down here is absurd that we get this too. So before you had to choose like Without a Trace, Fade to Nothing, Cloaked in Shadows, right? Now we can get Without a Trace, Fade to Nothing, or Cloaked in Shadows. We can get both. Like, We are going to be unkillable. Like if people thought Rogue was not killable now, we are going to be unkillable for sure. Like we have 2 Feint charges, Crimson Vial, Iron Stomach, we have the Leech, and now we get 2 DRs, 2 30% shields on our vanishes. Like that is crazy. On top of getting 12% increased healing. I didn't even mention recuperate. Like this is going to be wild. Okay, so that's I don't know if it's going to go out like that, but I hope it does. Mainly because Rogue provides nothing to the raid really. So us being able to face tank and survive everything by ourselves is basically like being an augmentation or being like, an in-hand shaman with their totems and healing and stuff. So it's nice. Now Gloomblade, Shadow Tech, Relentless, The First Dance, Imp, Shadow Techniques, all the same pretty much across the board. I forgot to mention though, for you Mythic Plusters who like to grind, this one is crazy. Kidney Shot has a 100% increased cooldown and energy cost, and now creates shadow clones stunning all nearby enemies. We're getting an AoE Kidney Shot. Okay, no way it goes out like this live, but you can expect that AoE Kidney will be a thing, or probably maybe like a, 3-second stun on the targets that you aren't hitting. But that is still big for us. That is a big deal. Okay, that's huge. Premeditation, weapon master, everything else is pretty much the same up until you get to down here. Lingering is now a 1 choice node, not too good anymore since it used to be 100% additional damage, now it just stops at 50. Perforated veins still needs more testing, it's not that good for a node, not a big deal. Over here now we get Finality Dark Brew, same thing, but here's the new ability, Gormaz. This one's interesting. Right now, it doesn't do too much damage, but eventually, he said the Rogue class designer said he would buff this ability. But your next 3 finishing moves cost no energy, so it's a good saving node. If you need energy and you need a save, it's pretty good. Not a bad option. Over here now, the interesting one, Shadowcraft, new talent. While Symbols is active, your Shadow Techniques trigger after 1 fear attack, store 1 additional combo point, and finishers can expend stored combo points. Now what this means is, surely the Shadow Techniques and the store 1 additional combo point, that makes sense, right? But what the lower half is saying is, if you were to eviscerate with full combo points and you had, let's say, 7 Shadow Technique like buff, like Shadow Technique 7 CP stored, if you eviscerated with Symbols of Death, you would instantly get back 7 combo points. So you could eviscerate into an eviscerate. Now, I don't know how good this will be in practice, but that is an option that we have available to us now. So there's that. Now I'm just going to show you on a dummy for the Shadow Techniques what it looks like now. So here it is. This is the buff. Combo point stored, as you can see. We only have 1, but the more you auto attack, see it keeps going up. Now we have 2. Now we have 3. Now Gloomblade costs 1 combo point, right? And we have 4 technique or 4 stored. If I use Gloomblade right here, it should give us 5 combo points. Okay. See, just like that. That's how it works now. Okay. So we store our combo points. Instead of it just giving to us the CP, we store them. So 3 plus 1, 5, because another one just procced, right? So that's what it looks like now. And it's pretty interesting. It's a good change, I think. So now instead of, spamming Gloomblade, like we're just doing this all the time, now we can like, kind of chill for a bit and then use it once we get 1 proc and then use it again, and then, our energy will be fine. Now I'll show you what it looks like with Symbols of Death up. So let's get full CP. There it is. We'll just get slice and dice so our attacks get faster. Okay, so now we're just going to chill here. You see building up the Shadow Technique procs. Letting them chill. We're at 5, 6, and right here, watch. If I use Symbols of Death, it works on spenders. This Shadow Techniques will give us full combo points, okay? So Symbols of Death, eviscerate, and I get full combo points. Eviscerate, full combo points. Eviscerate, and then boom, it's done. We used all our procs. See how it works like that? That's what happens when you have Symbols of Death active with Shadowcraft. Outside of that, your builders are just giving you more. It doesn't work outside of that, okay? So it's pretty big deal. And we'll see how that plays out. So right now, I'll show you the rotation. It's not set in stone, right? This is just all like conceptions that people are making, but this is ideally what we're going to be. Maybe not this, something like this is more like it, but this is just what I have, so I'm going to use it like this. Not going to talk much. I'm just going to show you what our damage profile kind of looks like now. Actually, I'll do the regular build. Let's do this. So this is unbuffed, nothing on. As you can see, Shadow Blade's giving us full combo points, making our opener pretty crazy. And yeah, so this change can be good for some, won't be good for others, but overall, this is technically a buff, especially with all the utility that we're getting outside of it as well. So yeah, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, just let me know, but I highly advise all of you just hop into PTR and test it out. It's fun. See you guys next time.